So cache memory organization are three types. Clear? Number one, associative cache. Associative cache. Number two, direct map cache. So from today's topics also you have to write down the answer. So try to understand all the concept minutely, then you can solve the questions also. Clear? So and the number three is set associative. Set associative. So cache memory can be organized in these three different way. So we will see one after another. So at first we will start the associative cache organization. Clear? So we will see associative cache organization. Actually, how this also called the cache mapping. So what happens? Suppose this is your CPU, and this is your main memory. This is your main memory. Clear? Suppose this is your main memory. So now this is your main memory. Clear? And suppose this is your cache memory. So in this cache memory organization, the main memory will be divided into multiple blocks. So all these are called the blocks. So main memory will be divided into different block, as well as the cache memory also will be divided into different block. So these also called the block. And the size of the cache block will be equals to the size of the main block. So the size of cache block or line না ফ্রেম ধরা ফ্রেম এখানে নয়, ফ্রেম হলো গিয়ে তোমার এখানে মানে দুটোই ব্লক হিসাবে কনসিডার করা হয়। ফ্রেমের কনসেপ্টটা ওই ভার্চুয়াল মেমোরির ক্ষেত্রে আসতে পারে। ঠিক আছে? So now size of the cache block, also it calls the cache line also. It also say cache line equals to size of main block. That's mean cache memory and main memory will be divided into equal size of blocks. Clear? And the number of the block here, suppose the number of the block is n. So in main memory there is n number of block, and in the cache memory suppose there are m number of blocks, and obviously n will be greater than m. That's mean number of block in main memory will be very large than the cache memory block, because cache memory is static RAM and the main memory is dynamic RAM, and the cost of the dynamic RAM is lower than the cost of the static RAM. But the benefit of static RAM is that the access rate of the static RAM is higher than the access rate of dynamic RAM. So when CPU will access some data, as cache memory is designed using the direct RAM, then the access rate from the cache will be faster than the main memory that is built by the static RAM. Clear? So this is the direct RAM. So direct RAM, from the direct RAM, the accessing rate will be very fast rather than the static RAM. Okay. So now, but the cost of the cache memory is very high. That's why in between the main memory and the CPU, we put a small but very fast memory. And what is the main purpose of putting this cache memory? The basic purpose is to access the data, to access any particular word faster time. That's mean increasing the performance of the CPU. To increase the performance of the CPU, we actually use the cache block in between the main memory and the CPU. Clear? That is the very basic concept on the cache memory. Now what will happen from the main memory? So all the main memory block cannot be placed in the cache memory because its number of the block is less than the number of the block in the main memory. Obviously, only some selective block of the main memory can be placed in the cache memory block. So only the selective block can be placed here. Got it? So now who will be placed? How? So this placing technique, this placing is called the mapping. So if we want to put something here, then that is called the mapping. So this kind of mapping is called the cache memory mapping techniques. And we have three different cache memory mapping techniques. One is associative, direct, and set associative. Clear? In the associative cache memory mapping technique or the organization, it says that any main memory block can be placed in any cache memory block. So suppose there are some main memory block already occupied in the cache memory, and suppose one new block will be come from the main memory to cache memory, then it will search in a blank space. If any blank cache line is free, then on that particular cache line or cache block, that particular main memory block will be placed. If all are full, then what will happen? Then some will be replaced, or already existing block will be replaced in the main memory, and on that particular position in the cache block, the main memory block will be come. So this replacement is, we follow the different replacement algorithm. So here we have to study the different replacement algorithm also. So what is the basic concept? So the main important concept here is that in the associative cache, any of the main memory block can be placed in the any block of the cache memory. That is the number one concept in the associative mapping. Clear? Now we will see some hardware organization for implementing this associative mapping technique. Okay. So now suppose the CPU generates some address. So in the associative cache, suppose you have a CPU that can generate the address having 16 bits address. You have 16-bit address machine. 16-bit address machine. That means your machine can generate 16-bit address. So suppose your CPU address will be the 16-bit CPU address. This 16-bit CPU address will be divided into two block. It will be divided into two parts. The total 16-bit address will be divided into two parts. So the total is 16-bit. But this 16-bit will be divided into two parts. One part is called the byte, and another is called the tag. So now these blocks will have some size, particular size. These blocks will have some particular size. Now suppose the size of the block is 256 bytes. 256 bytes. So 256 bytes so suppose a block of main memory or a block of cache memory will have 256 bytes. 256 bytes. Clear? And suppose this is the byte addressable machine, or you can say word equals to 1 byte. Okay, so here 256 bytes to occupy 250 to address to access 256 bytes, you required how many bits? You required 8 bits, because 2 to the power 8 equals to 256. Clear? 2 to the power 8 equals to 256, so it will require 8 bit. So here byte will be 8 bit. That's mean within every block there will be 256 bytes. Every byte have an individual address, or you can say there is 256 words and every word have individual address, and here word equals to 1 byte. Sometimes the word may be multiple bytes also. In some cases your word may be 2 byte word, 4 byte word, 8 byte word, but your machine will be word addressable, not byte addressable, actually word addressable. Here as the word and byte, one word equals to 1 byte, that's why you can say it's the byte addressable or byte addressable. Okay, so now, so among these 16 bits, 8 bits will be occupied by the byte. So in the remaining part there will be so remaining how many bits will be there? There will be 8 bits. The tag field, there will be 8 bits tag field. There will be 8 bits tag field. Clear? So tag field also will be 8 bits. Now here what does it means? It means that there is an tag memory. So all this tag address will be stored. So this is your cache memory. So this is your cache memory, this is your cache memory, this is your main memory. Now this tag address will be stored in a separate memory, that is called the tag memory. That is called the tag memory. That is called the tag memory. Clear? So there will be the tag fields, there will be tag memory. So what will happen? So at first we will check. So how many tag? Here it's the 8-bit tags. 8 bit. How many tags will be there? There will be 2 to the power 8 number of tags. That means 256 tags will be there. There will be 256 tags. Okay, there will be 256 tag. So this will be 0, this will be 1, this will be 255. So that means in your so this now here when you generate this address, when CPU will generate this address, it will check the tag memory, so and match this tag address with these values. So when these values will be matched with here, so suppose what will happen, suppose the address, the first address of the here, the first address of the first byte will be 0000 is the hexadecimal because it has the 16 bit address. So 16 bit address means what? There will be 4 octet. So every octet having the 8 bits, and you can convert every octet in a hexadecimal value. So the first address will be 16-0. So 16-0, all 8 0 will be 0 in the hexadecimal format. It will be 0, it will be 0, it will be 0. So if we write the address in the hexadecimal format, then 16-0 will be 0000. So the first address of the byte will be 000. This is the hexadecimal. Actually here there are 16 bits. there are 16 bits, but we are writing in hexadecimal formats. That's why it consists of four digit. Clear? So now the last address. So the last address will be what? So the last address accordingly there is 256 words. There is 256 words, and there will be some last address in this 256 words. Clear? So actually this will be so now in the second, so the address of the first block. So the address of the first block will be this. This will be the address of the first block. This is the address of the first block. So tag field will be this first three digit will be the tag field. So that value will be, that particular value will be stored in the tag field. So in the next block there will be some starting address of this block. So that is the starting address of the tag block. Clear? So that particular starting address will be written in the next tag field. Tag field. So here you have 256. You have 256 block. You have 256 block. Total 256 block. Every 256 block have a starting address. So this is the starting address of this block. There will be some another starting address of the next block. There will be another starting address of the next block. So this way you will get 256 starting address. That is called the tag address. Got it? Tag address of every block. So that tag address will be put here, put in these positions in the tag memory. So in the tag memory we will get the tag address. Tag address means the starting address of all this block. Clear? Now when CPU will generate an address and it will check in the cache memory. So when it check in the cache memory, then what will happen? The size of the cache memory will be smaller than the main memory. So in the main memory there is 256 block, but in the cache memory there may be very less number of block. Clear? There will be very less number of blocks. So every 256 cannot be placed here. Suppose there are only placed 64 4 block can be placed. So when CPU will generate an address, it will check this cache block, cache memory, whether when CPU will generate an address, actually that address will be of some particular byte. CPU will generate the address of a particular byte. At a time a CPU will generate the address of a single byte. So that particular byte will be present within any of this block. Suppose that particular address is present in this particular block. Suppose that is present in this particular block X. Clear? So now what will happen? This block will have some particular address, starting address. That starting address will be put some here in the tag address. Clear? Tag address. Now there is a valid bit. This is called the valid bit. So initially, so how many entry will be in the valid bit array? There also will be 256. There also will be 256 bits in the valid bit array. 256. So what will be the concept? The concept is, if any tag is present in the main memory block, that particular valid bit will be 1. Otherwise initially all the valid bit will be 0. So initially all the valid bit will be 0. Suppose initially all the valid bits are 0. And suppose there are the different blocks. Suppose the blocks are, first block is 0, second block is 1, third block, then the third block, fourth block. This is ultimately you will get 255 block. Clear? So initially within the cache memory there is no data. Suppose now the 0 block comes in the cache memory. So this 0 block will be placed here. And as this is the tag memory, that this memory also will be initialized by this particular tag address. There is 256 block, there is a 256 block address. Clear? Initially all are 0. Now when this particular block will be come in the cache memory, then this valid bit will be 1. This valid bit will be 1. So now if we check this valid bit, then you will be sure that this particular tag that means that particular block is present in the cache memory. Now as the second tag, and if you check the valid bit, then it is the 0. So you can say that the number 1 block is not present in the cache memory. Now if the number 1 block is come in the cache memory, then what will happen? This valid bit also will be 1. So now you can check both. So you can match this value with the tag field. So what will be? So when we generate an address, you will check this tag address with this tag bit, tag field. Clear? So now there may be a garbage value. This tag memory can be occupied by the different garbage value, and somehow this particular address sometime can be matched with this tag memory. So you cannot be sure whether that particular block is present in the cache memory or not. That's why the valid bit is used. So if with any garbage value, if this tag address is matched, then also if we find this valid bit is 0, then you can say that particular block is not present in the cache memory. Clear? So in this organization you required a tag memory, you required a valid bit, and all these things. Now we'll see. So what is the basic concept? Basic concept is, in the associative cache, any block of the main memory can be placed in the any memory. So now the second can be placed here, then it will be second will be 1. Then suppose the third will be placed here, then third also will be 1. Then suppose you have here 8 number of total 8 block. Suppose in the cache there is 8 block. So this way you can occupy up to the 7th block. So 7th block, suppose this is your 7th block, this is your 7th block, 7th block is come. So now all the 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so all are 1 and remaining are 0. That means that your cache memory is full. Now what will happen? Now suppose CPU generate an address, that particular word is present in any other block, not within this 7 block. So it may be present in the 100 number of block. So 100 number of block is not present in the cache memory. Then what you have to do? You have to replace any of this block in the main memory, and on that position you can place that 100 block into the cache memory. So that's mean you can place any main memory block in cache memory in any place. So this is the associative mapping. So in the associative mapping, this is the advantage, that any main memory block can be placed in the any cache memory block. But the drawback is that here the hardware organization will be very complex. Now let's see how this hardware organization is happened. Clear? So how this hardware organization is happened. So now we'll see the hardware organization of the associative cache. So up to this we understood what is called the block, what is called the main memory block, what is called the cache memory block, and what is called the tag memory, and what is called the valid bit. So we already learned all this concept. Now suppose your CPU will generate a this is the valid bit and this is the match bit, match bit. Clear? So now what will happen? Now your machine will generate some address. You will copy that block number into this argument register. This argument register value will be compare with all this tag memory, and when it will be matched, then that match bit will be positive. That particular match bit will be positive, as well as you will check the valid bit. Valid bit also will be positive. So when we do the AND operation of these two value, so these two value will be AND, and this is 1, this is 1. So obviously this also will be true, this also will be true, and that particular cache block will be put in the inverter. So when this line will be 1, only the values can be go through this particular line. Otherwise, if it is 0, then whatever the value will be put here, they cannot be put in this particular line. So when this match bit will be true and this valid bit will be true, then only after this AND operation, whatever the values is put in the inverter from the cache block, that can be go out from this line, and it will be stored in a multiplexer. It will be stored into multiplexer. So we know that what is the concept of the multiplexer. So multiplexer, within this multiplexer, multiple value can come, and you should have a select line. According to the select line, among those different value, one value will be selected. So this is your CPU generate address. CPU generate address, clear? So now this address will be for a particular word. That particular word is present in this particular block. So within this block, how many words are there? 256 words are there. So when the whole 256 words will be placed in the multiplexer, then what will be that so your address will be any one of these 256 words. এই 256 এর মধ্যে যে কোনো একটা ওয়ার্ড, you are selecting any particular word from this 256 word. So your 256 value will be come into multiplexer, but they are required a select line. That select line will come from this bit address. So what bit address will get as a select line? So according to that select line, among these 256 bytes, only one byte will be go out from the multiplexer, and that will be go to the CPU. So CPU will get that particular word. Clear? This is the total organization of the set associative mapping, and this is particular block. This is a single block. This is a particular block. You can say this is a block, and this is separate block. Clear? So again I am telling you what is the concept here. The concept is that your CPU, your machine is generating particular address. Clear? And now you are checking whether that particular address car address for a byte or word. This machine will be generate the address of a particular word or byte. So now you will check whether that word or byte present within the cache memory or not. That is your problem. Your problem is machine is generating particular address, and you are checking whether that particular address is present in the cache memory or not. If it is present, then that particular value should be go into the CPU. That is your task. So how we solve that? If we use the associative cache. So in the associative cache, what will happen? Your address will be divided into two parts. One part is called the byte, another part is called the block number. This block number will be copied in an argument register, and this argument register value will be compared with the tag memory. So all this tag memory, this argument register will be checked, compare. So when there will be match. So any among all these value, only in one position you will get the match. So when we get the match, suppose you get the match in this particular tag address, then this is the match bit. That particular match bit will be set as 1. Otherwise by default it will be set as 0. Initially all the match bit was 0. When we find a match, then it will be 1. As well as there is a valid bit, and that valid bit also will be set as true or 1. Initially it was 0. So now when this argument register value will be matched with any of this tag memory, then this match bit will be 1, as well as valid bit will be 1. Now if we use these two bit in an AND operation, then its output also will be true. And this cache block will be put in a inverter. Clear? Now if this is the enable line. If you put this enable line as 1, then only all this value will be put in the multiplexer. It will be go into the multiplexer. Clear? So when it will be go into the multiplexer, then this byte, whatever the byte is there, this byte will be used as a select line in this multiplexer. So according to that particular byte, so byte, what is the size of the byte? The size of the byte is 8 bits. 8 bit means what? 8 bits means it will indicate any one of the bytes among these 256 bytes. So only one byte address will be matched with among these 256, and that will be come out from the multiplexer, and your CPU will get that particular address, that particular value from the cache memory. So this is the associative mapping concept, and this is the associative mapping organization. Okay, now what is the drawback? What is the drawback here? The drawback here is that this is the argument register. This value will be compared with all this tag memory. This register will be compared with all this memory. So for this comparison, you require a complex, that means the comparator. You have to use the comparator circuit, and you require very large number of comparator circuits. That means you require so many gates here for comparison. Your hardware will be very complex for this comparison. So only for this comparison purpose, your hardware component will be very complex. That is the only drawback. And to overcome this particular drawback, we have to move in another cache memory organization technique, that is called the direct cache memory organization technique. So there is some drawback in the associative cache memory technique. What is the drawback? Drawback is that for the searching purpose, we require a very complex hardware structure, hardware organization. So reduce that hardware organization, we have to move into the direct mapping technique.